Right, time for a check on sports. And I'm wearing my green tie for a reason. Just when you thought Howie Roseman might be done with his draft weekend, wheeling and dealing, he pulls off a blockbuster trade with the Lions that lands the Eagles a hometown favorite, namely DeAndre Swift, the running back. Swift, a native of Philadelphia and former standout at St. Joe's Prep, fills a major need for the Birds. In 3 seasons with Detroit, Swift ran for more than 1,600 yards and 18 touchdowns. He added another 7 receiving touchdowns. Bottom line, this guy can do it all. Swift adds yet another offensive weapon to take the heat off of Jalen Hurts. Oh, and by the way, the move adds another Georgia Bulldog to the roster. Here is Howie Roseman on that move.
We saw it firsthand when we were in Detroit, the first game of the season. He's got vision, obviously tremendous character adds to that. And we liked our running backs. You know, we didn't go into the draft feeling like this was a position we had to have. But we felt like this player was somebody who could really add to our culture and add to our team.
You might remember, Swift was a standout at St. Joe's Prep, and his footage is not that old, by the way. He scored 34 touchdowns his senior year. 34. He ran for more than 4,000 career yards while leading the Prep to 3 state championships along the way. Earlier today, we caught up with current St. Joe's Prep head coach Tim Roken.
DeAndre is an amazing young man. You know, from his time here at St. Joe's Prep, and to watch him grow here as a young man and go on and do great things at the next level at the University of Georgia. And then to see what he's, going to bring back now to the city of Philadelphia and the Philadelphia Eagles, pretty special.
We're back with some high school highlights from DeAndre Swift. He led the St. Joe's Prep team to 3 state titles in his 4 years with the Hawks. Prep coach Tim Roken, he showed us the 2014 yearbook. Look at the baby-faced DeAndre right there. And then the helmets of Prep players that went to big college programs. Swift went from Girard Avenue to Georgia. DeAndre rejoins Olamide Zaccheaus with the Birds. Those two played at the Prep together. There is some Prep pride here.
We can explain to our younger guys what separated those guys when they were younger, right? It's one thing to love the game, but to be committed to it to a higher level as they have in their time and the production they've shown at the highest level in college football, right? And now to do that at the NFL at the highest level of this game is just amazing. And then be able to have them back in the city, it's great. And I can't wait to get them back here at the Prep.
They won a state title 10 years ago in DeAndre's freshman year at the Prep. And you heard Tim mention his work ethic. Our NBC 10 cameras saw that firsthand 3 years ago as he prepped for the draft. All right, let's welcome in Eagles preseason analyst Ross Tucker. And first, let's start with the trade getting DeAndre Swift. Now, he's in the last year of his deal, but do you think that he is actually an upgrade in a way over Miles with the way he's able to catch the ball?
You know what, John, that's a really interesting point. I mean, they kind of remind me of each other in terms of how explosive they are, but you look at some of the plays DeAndre Swift made last year, and especially to your point, what he does in the passing game, he's certainly an upgrade when you consider he's about $5 million less than what Miles Sanders is making right now, and he's probably the best player that changed teams on day 3 of the NFL draft. I mean, all the other guys are 4th through 7th round picks. DeAndre Swift is a known commodity.
Well, the 2023 NFL Draft is now in the books. Possibly the biggest move of the final day was a trade between the Eagles and the Lions. It brings home a Philadelphia high school football legend and running back DeAndre Swift. Action News reporter Katie Catro has a reaction from fans and from Swift's former coach at St. Joe's Prep.
We've been chatting with Eagles fans about what they think of the NFL draft. So far, fans say they are especially excited about 2 players.
Billy Dogs! We're coming back underdogs, and now we're like bulldogs. 2 dogs.
The Eagles have been drafting a number of Georgia Bulldogs. They also traded for former Detroit Lions running back DeAndre Swift. This adds yet another former Bulldog to the Eagles roster. Additionally, the Eagles signed former Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Olamide Zaccheaus. Both Swift and Zaccheaus played high school football at St. Joe's Prep, less than 10 miles from Lincoln Financial Field.
The best part is probably the trade for the hometown boy of DeAndre Swift.
I mean, I like the Olamide in Atlanta, valuable depth piece, maybe help out in the rotation.
While fans like their work out on the field, the head football coach at St. Joe's Prep says he's worked with both players since high school.
They're going to be 2 great assets to that program, and they're extremely humble young men as well. So they're going to come in, they're going to keep their head down, and they're going to grind, and they're going to be team first.
He says both players standard as 2015 and 17 grads.
I'm just so proud of them, and to watch it gets me emotional. Just to see them here as young men and 13, 14-year-old kids.
Fans say they can't wait to see them in their midnight green uniforms.
It's been interesting. I mean, all Georgia people, so I don't know, it'll be a fun locker room experience for them.
Super excited. I think we did a great job. Part-time Georgia fan, so it's great to see all these Bulldogs come into the Eagles. I think Harry Roseman's the best GM in the NFL.
We'll see what happens once the season starts. Reporting in Center City, Katie Catro, Fraction News at 10 on PHL 17.
Now the Eagles are also making some big moves and some big news. Not only did they clean up in the NFL draft this weekend, they also made a big trade for a running back. And this is exciting for Eagles fans because it's a homecoming for DeAndre Swift, who grew up right here in Philadelphia. And many of you know Swift played high school football for St. Joe's Prep and really became quite a legend there. And joining us live now to tell us all about that is Swift's former coach at the Prep, Tim Roken. Tim, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Now, this is huge news. Now, the Eagles making this trade with the Detroit Lions to bring Swift back home to Philadelphia. So what went through your head when you heard this news? I think you said you were doing somersaults.
Yeah, I screamed in the other room, and my fiance came running out and thought something was wrong. And, just a scream of excitement to hear that news come through that, one of our former players is not only going to come back home and play for a city that he grew up in and loved, the Eagles, but also be able to team up with one of his former teammates here, and Olamide Zaccheaus, who just got signed by them as well. So.
Well, this is just, it's awesome. What a homecoming it's going to be. Now, Swift's father, we understand, is one of your coaches at St. Joe's Prep. Have you had a chance kind of to talk to him or the Swift family at this point? If so, what was their reaction when they heard their son is traded for the Birds and he's going to be coming home?
Yeah, no, I called Darren right away, and he was actually on his way. Him and Ayanna, his wife, were on their way to their daughter's graduation from the University of Pittsburgh when the news broke. So he was thrilled, obviously, and I spoke briefly to DeAndre. Obviously, he was his phone was blowing up, pretty heavily there at that point. But spent a minute or two on the phone with him, and you could just hear the emotion in his voice, and just how happy he is to be able to come back to the city of Philadelphia and play for his hometown team.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see how fans react as well. Now, Coach Swift did graduate from the Prep, we understand, in 2017, set all kinds of records while he was in school there. What was it like coaching him?
I'll tell you, so I was the offense coordinator at the time, and since I've taken over as the head coach. But, I tell you, he made my job a lot easier, that's for sure. But he's just an unbelievable young man. And, it was a young man that just made my job easier, but, he made me better as well, just because he wanted to be coached. And, the work ethic and the things that he did off the field, when nobody was watching, is what separates him, when he's on the field on Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
And now on Sunday.
Well, this is awesome news. Now, we know he's a great football player. We talked about all the records he's set and also what he's done already. So describe what kind of person he is off the field. You kind of gave us a glimpse there of it. How would you describe him just as, as a guy, a normal guy?
Yeah, no, extremely humble human. Is going to be great in the city, in the community. Loves to give back. Always comes back around the Prep when he has an opportunity to. When he's back home in Philly, and just a young man that's going to go in there and put his head down and just work. And there's a lot of expectations. He came into the Prep with a lot of expectations, but he just kind of keeps his head down and works and. Understands that he's confident in his ability, and that'll show on Sunday afternoon for sure.
All right, this is really exciting news. Tim, thank you so much for talking with us this morning. We do appreciate your time. Can't wait to see him here back in the city of brotherly love.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me, and take care. Have a good day.
Okay, you take care.